Tacos are a fantastic weeknight dinner because they're so versatile. You can put just about anything in them. Today, I'm using skirt steak because this cut of meat cooks up quickly. When it comes to tacos, I'm all about the toppings. So I'm also making quick pickled onions and a delicious zesty mayo. Skirt steak is such a great cut of beef. It takes on amazing flavor and it cooks up really quickly, which makes it perfect for these quick 30-minute meals. I'm gonna set this guy aside for a little bit while I start working on the marinade. One of my favorite things whenever I'm marinating skirt steak or any kind of protein is to use a big, giant zipped bag. Get the big gallon size, and then you can put your marinade, the meat, veggies, anything that you're cooking with right in here. So peel your garlic, and instead of chopping or mincing, what we're gonna do is use a grater and just grate it right into our zipped bag. Just gonna get as much of it as you can in there. Now we're gonna do some fresh limes. I always like to make sure that I zest off all this delicious peel. Like 70% of the flavor of citrus lives in that peel and in those natural acids. I love using a juicer like this. It just really gets all that great juice out. All right, this looks so good. It already smells so fresh and flavorful. Now we're gonna add a little bit of salt. We're also gonna add some freshly ground black pepper. And a little bit of oil. You can use vegetable oil or olive oil, whatever you've got. It's gonna go in there. And I promised you Chipotle, so it's Chipotle time. For this, we're using Chipotles in adobo sauce. These are one of my pantry staples. Chipotles are smoked jalapenos, and they're in this wonderful sauce. There's a lot of incredible flavor, perfect for our marinade. And just chop. That's perfect. All right, we're just getting messy. All right, so now that we've got our delicious marinade ready to go, we can add the skirt steak. So skirt steak usually comes in this incredibly long piece, which obviously doesn't fit on any pan that I've ever seen. So we want to cut it down into a few smaller pieces. I like to do about 4 to 6 inch pieces. Depending on the size of your pan, you can kind of go smaller or bigger, but that's about the size you want. Just like this. Perfect. And then these pieces can be dropped right in to our marinade. Now it's time for the fun part. Once you've got the marinade and the steak in the bag, seal it up tight. And then you can use your hands to massage that marinade all around the steak, making sure that every single one of those incredible flavors infuses your meat. Just like that. All right, that's fantastic. Shake it. Now you can just set this aside and let it hang out for about 10 to 15 minutes while we work on our toppings. We're gonna get started with our quick pickled onions. I love this kind of riff on classic pickled onions because it's super easy, super simple, and it adds amazing flavor to our tacos. We're gonna cut off the root side, set that aside, and then just cut it right down the center. Get that peel off. To slice the onions, you can use a knife if you prefer, but I love using a mandolin. Just makes everything really quick, easy, and keeps the slices super even. All right, now we have these beautiful slices. I'm gonna put them right into my bowl. And we're gonna do some fresh lime juice and zest right on top. Now we can get the juice. Just cut your lime in half. All of that juice in. Now we're gonna add some salt to it. Just sprinkle that all in. This is also gonna help make those onions really nice and tender. I love adding a little bit of cloves to it. I think it adds just a special flavor. So we're just gonna do a little pinch, about 1/8 of a teaspoon or so. Then give it a toss. Make sure that that salt, the lime zest, the lime juice, and the onions are all evenly incorporated, just like this. And now we will just let this hang out, let those guys get to know each other. It's gonna be wonderful. I think no taco is complete without some sort of delicious creamy sauce. So for this, we're making essentially a lime crema. We're using mayo as our base, and we're gonna do 1/2 cup of that. All right, so now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. I love that cumin adds this really smoky flavor to it, and it's also very much a common spice used in a lot of Mexican cooking, so it's just something that ties all of the flavors in our dish together. I'm gonna stir that in a little bit. Nice and evenly incorporate it right into our sauce. I promised you zesty, guys. All right. Tap that right in. Give it a little stir. And now for the juice. Let's incorporate that. You can actually use a whisk to make sure it's really nice and smooth. Right? Now I'm also gonna add just a little bit of salt to our sauce. So give that a nice whisk. This is a pretty loose sauce. It's something you can really kind of drizzle over the tacos. Well, our toppings are ready, so now it's time to cook the steak. So the steak has been marinating. It's got all that incredible flavor. And whenever you're cooking steak, you want your pan to be hot so you can get those incredible flavors. So all we have to do now is take it right out of the marinade and straight into the pan. Love that sizzle. Anytime you're cooking, you want to make sure that there's a little bit of room left between everything that's in your pan. Don't crowd them. They need room to stretch out, to get cooking in there. Steak doneness can be a very personal thing. Personally, I like 2 to 3 minutes per side, which gives me the perfect medium rare. All right, I'm ready to start pulling these off. Smell amazing. Oh, I love those beautiful grill marks. Anytime you cook steak, you really want to let it rest before you cut into it. It just gives the juices a little bit of time to settle so that they don't run out. All right, we've got all our ingredients. The steak is just about done resting. I've got a few little finishing touches before we can make our tacos. Now we're gonna work on some of the fun toppings. So I love avocado on my tacos, and you guys already know I love lime, so you gotta have a little extra lime too. Just gonna slice the lime, and then I'm just gonna quarter it. Now we're gonna cut our avocado. You always wanna get rid of that little stem bit. And then take the avocado right in, go all around that center pit. Give it a twist. Perfect avocado, it's my lucky day. To get that pit, you want to use that sort of bottom part of your knife, slice it in, give it another little twist, and there we go. Pop that out. Now what I like to do is use a spoon just to scoop out that avocado. Perfect. I love a little salty cheese on top. For this, I'm using queso fresco, which is a Mexican-style fresh cheese. It's a little bit crumbly. I like to use a fork just to break it up like this. I prefer corn tortillas for my tacos. I think it gives it incredible flavor. If you prefer flour, go for it. You do you. So you can do this on a cast iron skillet, a nonstick skillet, really any kind of skillet. In the meantime, let's slice that steak. This has had a moment to rest. And now what you want to do is look out for the grain. Your instinct might be to cut with them, but really what you want to do is cut against them so that when you take a bite, the steak sort of falls apart in your mouth. It's just super tender and lovely. So I'm just gonna start assembling. I like to start off with the sauce. Just spread a little bit right in the center. And then a few pieces of steak, about 3 or 4. You don't wanna get too wild. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of avocado, some of those fantastic pickled onions, and that perfect little salty queso fresco right on top. A few little fresh cilantro leaves, just as a finishing touch. And there you have it, Chipotle lime steak tacos. I'm ready for a bite. I love it. You can see that steak, the pickled onions, cilantro, that salty queso fresco. So good.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.